guys, how are you all doing? It's Cam back at you again. Today I am bringing you a song lesson. What? That never happens. I don't tend to do song lessons on the channel for copyright reasons. However, today I'm making an exception. I'm teaching Can't Get This Stuff No More by Van Halen. And this particular song has been requested a fair amount on my Instagram. Go and follow me on there, Guitarman Cam. I've been slightly obsessing over this riff the past couple of days, and I've been putting it in my story and also my YouTube story, and a lot of you have been going, how do you do that? And for me, it's been very, very inspiring because it's got some really cool chordal ideas in there, which I can't not show you. They're just really, really cool, and hopefully you'll take some of these ideas across and put them into your own playing, but also you get a pretty kick-ass Van Halen riff out of it. So without further ado, let's go. Before we get into the lesson, please make sure you tune your guitar down to drop D so that you're ready to follow along. Okay, now we're all tuned up. I'll try and keep this as brief as I can. The first four chords of the song are, and pay attention to the picking pattern. Okay, just to walk you through the fingerings, you've got 12 on the D and G for the first chord and 10 on the B and high E. Second chord, all you're doing is moving this index finger down 2 frets, keeping 12 on the D and G there. Then treat this as a warm-up chord for this third chord, which is horrible. You've got 10 on the D and G and then 5 on the B and high E. Yeah, 5. First thing I'll ask you to take note of here is hand positioning, all right? I've got pretty small hands for a bloke, but the way I'm managing this is my thumb positioning. You do have to slightly lean into it, I think. But the most important thing is making sure that your thumb is as close to your index finger as possible to allow that stretch. And another thing you'll find with this is, one, if you're new to this, you will feel pain. It's almost a guarantee. But you know what they say, no pain, no gain. And you'll also have a tendency to bend the D and G out of tune while doing this, but don't worry, that's only temporary. If you keep at it, this will stop, all right? Then the fourth chord, you still got 10 on the D and G, but then you've got 8 on the B and high E as well. So 8 on the B, 7 on the high E. And a subtly different picking pattern, just so you can see that. And each time he cycles through this, there is a different fill that builds anticipation for the heavy stuff that's coming. For example, you've got a natural harmonic on the first one. And that drones underneath, so it gives the riff that extra bit of sort of beefiness and atmosphere, I suppose. One extra detail to add as well is that as this is getting louder, you have to make sure you're palm muting these little chord arpeggios here. You're trying to convey a really sticky feel, almost as though you're slurring the chords. Another feel that happens in between here is you're doing a natural harmonic where you're raking backwards from the high E down to the low E on the 12th fret. Then going through it once again. Another one, just before the heavy stuff kicks in, you're going 3 hits on the low D. Then into the heavy stuff you go. Just to break down this heavy part really briefly, it involves really basic chord shapes. I'm not going to sit here for too long, but you've got open D, D major, hit that twice. Slide up 2 frets and then hit that E major that you landed on. And this is a really sort of important feel aspect for this. Instead of having to hit both chords twice, by adding that slide in there gives it that element of smoothness, and that you could call a Van Halen cliche. He does that an awful lot throughout all of his music. Just gives everything that extra layer of smoothness, if you like. And then what you've got once you've landed on this E major, I'm going to play this really slow. You've got 2 chugs in between each little chord change here on the low D and A. And what you're doing is you're keeping that E major shape, but you're alternating between 5 on the high E with the little finger and then taking that off for G sharp on the 4th fret. Back to G major, and then when you turn it around, you've got this. You're hitting that D chord again with an open B and high E, hit it twice. Hammer onto 2 to get that major 3rd, and then let it off again. Then back into it again. Okay, and make sure you cycle through that. There are other variations where instead of going back to D major, you'll simply go back to the D chord where you've got the open high E on the end instead. Now, the final chord here before you go into the really sexy verse riff, you've got basically an A chord, imagine that. Then you've got B and high E, 5th fret to fatten it up. The octave above. Now, for the verse riff, for maximum tonal similarity, go to the middle position if you've got a guitar with 2 humbuckers. So you get this really cool sort of twangy. You get this really nice sort of honk to the riff. Now, this first part here, I recommend fretting the G and B strings with your middle finger and your ring finger. And what we're going to play is 3rd fret. You've got low D to sort of drone in the middle. You're going twice on the 3rd fret. Slide up to 5 and then hit that 5th fret with your pick. 2 chugs on the low D. Now this part's really fiddly for some people whenever I've taught this riff before, but it's one of those ones where you've got to focus on your pull off here. What you've got is you're going to hit that 5th fret, then pull off with your ring finger to the 3rd fret on the B there. That's a really tricky thing to work on, but that's a huge part of the feel of this riff. Hit the 5th fret, then slide up to 7. Now add vibrato onto that there. Now we're going to a really cool chord here. This is one of the important reasons I'm teaching this riff today. Now what you've got is 12 on the D, 11 on the G, and 8 on the B and high E. And the way it's picked, you've got down, 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 up, and 2 ups again. And the way it's played in terms of its rhythm, you've got, you're hesitating on that G string there to give it that really dissonant sound. And then to round it off, you're then going to go 12 on the D, and then open D, as in the low D, on the end. Now what this allows you to do is convey that shuffle feel once again. Hear that again? Now we go back through the altered version of this where you've got now what you've got here, it starts off just like the first time. Instead you're going back to the 3rd fret on the B, keeping 5 on the G. Do that twice with 2 chugs in between. Now when it turns around, you've got a G major chord, or it feels like it. You're going to resolve on G major. But what you've got is 5 on the G there with the little finger. Then take that off to resolve on G major. Then back to the low D again to start that off. So you can hear it again. Last time around you got then resolve on A. And the reason why I wanted to show you these chords today is because they're really inspiring for one reason really. A lot of the time when people want to get complex with their chords, they'll often bar across something this way, then stretch out, where you've got to practically do a reach around on the guitar. Instead with these really cool chords like at the start, these sort of Alan Holdsworth style chords here. You can get really, really creative with them. I actually used this kind of chordal idea in one of my original songs called Falling with my band Lake Domain, where I took an open D, that C major as heard in Can't Get This Stuff, and then you've got the first fret on the high E there. It just opens up a lot of different possibilities for you, and especially you can mess around with different root notes to give it a different feel. So lots and lots of fun to be had there. You don't only just get a kick-ass Van Halen riff there, but also some really, really cool, I should say, chords to throw into your own playing. Give them a go. Thank you very much for watching this video, you guys. I hope you've liked what you've seen. Please make sure you like, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye-bye.